I don't know where you're at in the world. Oh, looks like we're still waking up. Computer's still waking up. Um, well, I got the other internet service yesterday that I was going to try out, and its upload speeds are worse. So I think I'm going to stick with what I got, although I will say lately I have had consistent upload speeds that have been good enough, and we've gotten past some of our rough streaming weeks. So here we are. I think we're going to go with what we got. Okay. So I definitely been talking about the possibility of doing a draft or maybe even the historic brawl. I don't know if we'll do those today or not. And I've got to say, I really want to work on that ladder and do it with some crazy stuff because that's what I always do. So I played one, I think it was just one, maybe two games with this Enraged deck yesterday. I think it's worth trying out again. It'll even cover some of the green spells for the quest. I definitely like to pursue the quests. You got to get that gold, and then you can draft. And the thing is, even if you're bad at draft, my thing is, because I'm still actually not especially consistent at draft. There was a time I was much better. Now I'm doing good to get in, 2 wins. I'm down to, that's probably my average, is like 2 wins. Now, if I could get it to at least 3 wins, I would do Premier Draft. But here's my point. Even at 2 wins, you're mining some of the gems. Not a ton, but some. And then, if you keep an eye on the store, they'll run specials at times where you can get free gems, or essentially free gems, by purchasing them with gold. And then eventually, you cash those gems in for something even better, which I actually have found if you play quite a bit, the battle pass is worth it. Now, I don't personally think it's worth it to just use your own cash, but then again, I'm a free-to-play player, so I kind of have that perspective. I live in that paradigm of, getting the most out of my financial resources from that perspective. So at the same time, I'm not down on those who aren't free to play because Wizards of the Coast has to make money, and that's just the way it works. And I've only given them maybe $40 or less in the last 2 or 3 years, ever how long I've been playing Arena, not Magic, but Arena. I spend on paper, for paper Magic, probably something closer to, oh goodness, it just depends. So some months I spend as much as $60 in a month, which is usually my max, because that's kind of where my max budget is, just on that type of expendable income. I call that my allowance. But I don't spend that every month. So it's probably, but I'll probably spend that at least half, well, I'd say at least, maybe roughly half the months out of the year, because that money may go somewhere else. So it's probably fair to say somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 a year. But that's for a collectible game that I collect as well as play, and I get pretty good amount of gameplay out of it. Matter of fact, my wife and I sat down and played some the other day, and I was so stoked because she's not a big fan. She pretty much just plays because I do, and she loves me. So that was awesome. All right, we get to get some big beefy stuff out. Drover the Mighty came in really handy here, giving us that one of any color. Let's go ahead and give that haste. And let's swing in. Nice. So this is the good thing about Enrage, is we do want to, attack or make sure we get dealt damage, and sometimes that helps being aggressive, because then it puts our opponent in a position to have to make a decision when we do attack. Blocking or not blocking isn't necessarily a simple decision. That was the right card to take out, but that's okay, because actually shaking the foundation is going to come in handy next turn as well. Oh, interesting. So they're going after me more than going after my creatures now. I don't know if that's going to be a great idea or not. Oh, okay. Going to try and put -1 counters on my creatures, I see. Well, we'll see if we can't do something about that. We'll put some 1/1 counters down. Oh, next turn we can get Galta and give it haste. If that survives. That has to survive at this point. Oh. Let's give that haste. Nice. Very nice. Oh, that coffee's good this morning. I needed it. Running late. Which, you know, sad to say, it is typical. Alright. Maybe I should rename my podcast, Running Late. Or not my podcast, my stream. I do podcast too, but rename the stream Running Late. Every day. Just leave it. That's the title of our stream. Running Late. Oh. That was tough there, because that was very smart. Very smart. Now I can't give Galta haste. But I do want to cast Galta. And I think I'll save one of those to block. I guess I could have saved all of them to block, because Galta's going to attack next turn. But just in case he doesn't, if somehow there's a way to deal with him, which I don't think mono red can really deal with a 12/12 very easily. You'd have to cast a lot of stuff. Okay, this is interesting. To target creature you control. Let's go here. And let's get rid of Soulscar Mage. Nobody wants a Soulscar Mage around. Okay, with just 2 red mana, I don't have any... Okay, I didn't really anticipate there really being anything that could be done there. But you never know, could forget something. I think that's the thing, we're still in, you know, stuck in platinum, which... it's getting... I'm going to have to play something more meta, I think. It's getting a little annoying being stuck down in platinum after being in Mythic last season, but I think the one thing about it is we do see more unique stuff. Stuff that we're not used to seeing, so gonna have to be ready for everything. But it also makes sense why people run out and get, you know, the meta decks to run through these early ranks. Because you can really get stuck if you're not running those meta decks. I don't even know if I've made it out of this tier of platinum. I mean, it's only, what, 6 days into the month, but still, I don't think I've made it out of this tier. I mean, granted, it was later in the month when we made Mythic, but wow, just feels kind of crazy. All right, I think this is definitely a keeper. I'll pay the 2 life to get a card down the first turn. And then everything is 4 after that, but I think we'll be okay. I think we might get a decent draw. I mean, we already have 3 land, so getting to those 4 drops, it won't be too awful, I don't think. And this is all assuming that our opponent decides to join the game. I don't know what's going on over there. Maybe they're mulliganing way down. See how many cards they end up with in their hand. I got coconut, toasted coconut flavored coffee this morning. That's nice. All right, let's keep going. Healer's Hawk. So this feels like probably going to be mono white. Oh, you have to remember, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may reveal a dinosaur card from your hand. If you do, gain 2 life. Okay, I had to do a bunch of reading on the upkeep last night because I watched an interaction on game nights that I kind of had forgotten about as far as like the way the upkeep works. Because there's like 3... Ooh, reveal a dinosaur. Yes. There's like 3... like individual steps that you have to go through, and I tend to forget that there are things that can happen in there. So like the first thing that happens, of course, is the untap phase or step, and that's the other thing. The terminology gets weird too. Are we talking about the phase or the step or whatever? But basically you untap first, and nothing can happen at that point. Like nobody can stop you from untapping, basically, or you can't stop yourself or whatever. The only thing that could be done on your opponent's end step, but once their end step is officially over and you are at your untap step, you untap. Okay, but once you untap and you go into what's called upkeep, then activated and triggered abilities, or actually I guess it'd be triggered first because some things trigger on your upkeep, then you can actually play instants. And I think this is where I was confused. I'd forgotten that you can actually play instants before your draw step. Draw step. Let's go here. Although I think I went to play this one first because I think this one deals a damage, right? Let's see. Whenever damage under your control, you may deal 1 damage to each. Yes, that's the one I wanted. Although it's going to kill this one if I don't figure out how to give this one like a 1/1 counter or something first. So now we got to be calculated in our enrage, unless we want to keep this one. Yeah, I don't know if we're really, well, I don't know. Getting that 2 life every turn right now is not too bad. We might keep it for the moment, which means we'll wait here. Wow. There's so much going on over there. We got to start making an impact on that board. Gotta make, yeah. Okay. Let's see. You know what? I should have gone here. I think actually getting rid of creatures would have been way better than gaining the 2 life. I really do now. Yeah. There's going to be too much in the air soon. Wow, yeah, there's so much to keep up with, and we can't keep up with it all now. I don't know. I say we can't. What we really need is a low cost. Oh, now the flyers are coming out. No, there's no way. I think had I made that other move a turn earlier. Yeah, I think misplay is what's going to kill us here. I was a turn late on making that decision. I overvalued the priest of the wakening sun. The tongue twister. Yeah, I definitely overvalued that. So we can do some things here. Well, and actually there's lethal damage flying now, so we're done. But anyway, had we not overvalued that and played Forerunner of the Empire sooner, we could have been triggering the Needletooth Raptor to get rid of things, but waited too late. But that's okay, because my failure is your education. Or at least your entertainment, one of the two. Either, or it could be both even. It could be both. It could be entertainment, education, all at the same time. But I guess in some ways that is the value of watching streams. You get to see misplays. I think the big thing, though, is understanding the misplays. Because if they're not understood, then it's very easy for you as a viewer to pick up on it and, like, not... I mean, pick up on it as in, like, pick up the same bad habit. Like, that wouldn't be great. So it's nice to kind of, like, constantly be evaluating, why did I lose that game? Is it just because my opponent is so great? Well, no, maybe I didn't play that very good. Okay. We'll keep this. It's not the greatest, but we'll keep it. And see, it's going to take a little while to get the hinge out, but I'm such a big fan of the Great Hinge. I don't want to drop any of my early drops. I'm actually going to go here, and I don't think this is necessarily the best play, but I haven't played one of these in the last few games, so I kind of want to see if its value is still there. And so the best way to test value is to keep it in the hand. Alright, so we got some Rakdos, at least, if not maybe something more going on. I think... So Rakdos will do a lot of destruction without dealing damage, either making a sacrifice or just straight destroying things. That's a little bit of a bummer. We'd rather our creatures be dealt damage with this deck, because it's all about enrage. Alright. But we'll see what we can do. I mean, luckily we have outlets to deal our own creatures damage. I think it's just going to be mostly a timing issue. Let's see. Oh no, my hinge is gone. And we got another one. Nice. Alright, we can't play it for a little while yet, though. That's the downside. And so for that reason, it might not be the best card in this deck. Or not the best card for this deck. Definitely not the best card in the deck. But I don't know. I really like it. Oh, what a bummer of a board wipe. Okay, so we're going to search for something, but I want to search for something I can play next turn. So the bigger stuff is a no-go. We could go ranging raptors and try to find land, but I don't know that I have anything immediately that I can let's go A rotting raptor. We haven't played that in a while. The only thing about playing land is... not playing land, but... well, the ranging raptors that was going to go find land is it has to be dealt damage, and so we need to set that up. Well, we do have that set up. What am I thinking? Because I didn't have this out last turn. Or last game. Okay, so then I would have been better off bringing in the ranging raptors. Maybe. Oh, oh, Double Vision copied that. Yikes. So this is setting up to be a very control heavy... yeah, very control heavy deck. Interesting. So if they're not doing a typical... Rakdos likes to do more sacrificing and things. So what are they setting up for? With all this control. Interesting. Wow. That Double Vision is a bummer. Well, let's go ahead and do what little bit we can do. Although, can this... okay, there's not enough to pay for it, so it can't be a creature to block this turn. Okay. This does not feel good. At all. Surely, all that control isn't set up just to beat me with a land. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Okay, I guess I'll ping you again. Maybe. Maybe not. Wow. I wonder how consistent that deck is. And it might be very consistent. I don't know. Oh, goodness. Interesting. Yeah, I think we're totally done here. I don't think there's anything... I don't have enough land to cast anything too big. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Let's go there. I mean, I don't think there's anything that's going to work at the moment because we're not going to get through with anything. I'm sure there's enough removal in hand already. Wow, and card draw. Wow. So what I'm realizing about this deck, this Enrage Dinosaurs, besides the fact that it's still fun even if it's struggling, and I think it's struggling because it's very mid-range, and I think at the moment to get through this meta, everything is either control or aggro. Occasionally you'll see a combo play. But everything's Enrage or... okay, I don't need to deal damage. This doesn't have Enrage. Yeah, so there's the Exquisite Blood. Is that the name of it? Exquisite Blood? I could be getting that wrong. The Veto life gain combo. Wow. Okay, we're there's no point in sitting around here. So yeah, sometimes that comes out, but we're pretty much just seeing like an immense amount of control in aggro. Not a lot of other archetypes, not a lot of combos or other things. Um, and so you kind of have to join them at this point. So mid range, there's not a lot of mid range. Combo, there's what am I missing? I need my graphic in front of me with the different archetypes. Although there's not too many more. I mean, those are the main ones. But yeah, that was very mid rangey. I think if we're gonna have to be sort of in that, I think I'm gonna go aggro. That's what usually gets me. You know what? Let's see how the Merfolk run right now. They didn't do too bad the last time we ran Merfolk. I could always just build a mono red. Although I haven't heard too many people playing mono red right now, so I don't know what it's doing. I tell you, everybody, what I keep hearing is running through historic right now, best of one, and that's Gruul. Gruul aggro, I'm hearing, is doing really, really well. Which I have that Gruul trample, but it's less aggro. Oh my goodness. Well, these are one drops. Let's keep it. That gives us at least a couple of turns to try to reasonably draw another land. That shouldn't be too bad. Gilded Goose. So the ramp into Ugin, I think I would still call that control. Because they're doing so much board wiping and countering to get where they're going. It's not like these super annoying will control and not really have much of a win con other than make you want to quit. But it's still control, I think. Okay, yeah, see, I thought we'd get a land in time to make this worth our while. Vitali. Isn't it Vitali? I know somebody that I met in Moldova on a trip there. I'm pretty sure his name was Vitali. Definitely not a Magic the Gathering player, though. For sure. Alright, so we get a counter on one of our unblockable Merfolk. And let's hold off on our Deeproot Elite. He doesn't need to attack yet. We'll just swing with our unblockables and get in for some damage there. Okay. Enters the battlefield, you gain life equal to your devotion. Oh, so this is a mono green devotion deck. Okay. This is different. I don't think we've seen this lately. Alright, so we're going to get two counters this time. One from Deeproot Elite and one from the Merfolk Skydiver. And let's put them both there. So the good thing about playing against mono green right now is there's not going to be any... I don't think there's any way to remove our creatures. Well, it's not true. Fight. They can use cards with fight. But in order for that to work, they'll have to have... big enough creatures, which as long as, is that Nalia? What is that? I always Nalia. She has to be big enough, or she has to be a creature in order for them to have a creature. So if their devotion goes down and they end up with no creatures big enough, because she'll become an enchantment if the devotion goes down. I don't see reach, so we'll go with these. Is that enough? That's 8. Yeah, that's enough. Oh, the goated goose. I was looking over here, didn't even make it. I wouldn't be a great quarterback. I didn't scan the field very good. I didn't see the goose over there on the left side hiding from me. What's going on with my phone? Just got the grocery list. That's what was going on with my phone. Okay, so we got him down to 1. And still nothing. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see anything to, any kind of fight opportunity or anything to remove creatures there. So I guess their plan was just to do some basic mono green, try to ramp into something big. And they didn't get to anything big. Yeah, I think aggro is the better way to go, because my options for the most part are either aggro. I have a couple of control decks, but not my strength. And sometimes, and I guess the thing is, I do typically prefer to play aggro. I prefer best of one. I prefer that speed of the game. When the game starts to get slow, I get bored. So even though I could probably test out some of my more controlled builds and see if I can find some success with them, because I have found when I do slow down, become a little more patient, it works. But I have to be in a really different kind of mood for that. Alright, let's go here. So it'll put a counter on itself since it's the only one there, and then next turn, when it doesn't have summoning sickness, we'll drop the Mistbinder and give it, make it even bigger. Oh, or we could go, ooh, let's go here. We'll make it bigger this way. Because now we can drop the Mistbinder on the next turn and activate, or trigger that ability, rather. Yeah, we'll go there, although we don't necessarily need that, but that's okay. Make our opponent think we need it. So yeah, even though I don't run anything other than creatures in this deck, I don't have any counter spells or anything, our opponent doesn't know that. So we definitely want to leave that land up if we can. Good game. What are you running, a board wipe that I can't recover from? Because that would be good game, unfortunately. Okay, let's go here. So I don't really want to risk losing these to blocks, but at the same time, I think we have to pressure our opponent to either, lose some of this stuff that may hurt us in the long run, or take the damage. So I think that was a better move. Okay, so returning, oh, wow. Discard a card. I'm actually going to go here because I can draw another card if I drop the land. Tatiova will give me that, so. Building up tokens. Yeah, so we're not going to block. Because luckily we still have a flyer, and that means something. Now how long can... Oh, okay, so land isn't awful, but... Wow. And so much for trying to fool our opponent here. We're just going to put... we're just going to put the extra counter on so we can get in for more in the air. What? Oh, come on, button. There we go. Now if we lose our flyer, we've really got to get good draws if we drop our land. Oh, see, and now our opponent's drawing cards, which is not good. Oh, that's odd. There's no devotion, and yet, what an odd card in that deck. Okay, we'll do the land drop first to see what we draw. Perfect. Although, unfortunately, all right, so we can play it this turn and get in for a guaranteed 6. The problem is next turn, the only way we can put the game away is if this stays alive. But if we don't do it this turn, we may lose both creatures before next turn. So I think we have to do it. We have to try. Alright, so again, it's a guaranteed 6. And we have a couple of blockers. But now we have to not only stay alive, we really need our flyer to stay alive, more than anything. Okay, so we don't really mind discarding at this point. That's not a big deal. Okay, good. There is no way to kill our flyer. Sweet. We timed that right. Speaking of time, what is it? 7:20 a.m. in the central part of the United States, and oh, not feeling too bad. Getting more and more awake as we go. And let's see. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all those cool things. Let's keep running some Merfolk. Our stream has been pretty quiet lately. Not seen a ton of growth, so I've got to do some thinking on that. Send me your suggestions, how we can change things up. Get flashier if we need to. I'm not a flashy person. We're probably not going to get too flashy, but we do want to think outside the box. I should probably do some more. I know, just stream at different times. That's a little difficult when you have a day job, but it would probably help. I usually don't need that much land to start with, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it anyway, because at least that one's also a scry land. Ooh. So this is going to be a control heavy deck. Blast Zone, the Golden Egg, Yorion. Not entirely sure what specific type of control we're up against yet. Hopefully we can get in underneath it. There's going to be a board wipe coming soon. Possibly even as soon as next turn. So I'm going to not get too carried away with casting creatures. I will go ahead and throw down another creature just to trigger the River Sneak so we can attack this turn. I mean, it could attack anyway, but for another damage I meant. And so I want to have enough creatures on the board to keep the pressure on, but knowing that in all likelihood we're going to see a board wipe real soon. Alright, so let's go ahead and attack with what we got. We'll get a land drop. And I actually think we're going to wait. Interesting. So still no board wipe. Let's go. We've got 2 Mistbinders. And we're going to hopefully get card draw soon. But I kind of want to wait on Tatiova until after we see a board wipe. Oh, interesting. Okay. So even though there's a strong creature on our opponent's board, I still think, well, I don't know. Now we're seeing Ugin. Maybe a board wipe isn't coming. Okay. We may need to proceed as if it's not coming, even if it does. Just because we've got to get some things going here. So next turn we'll be able to deal enough damage to get rid of that Ugin. But typically you don't play this Ugin unless you're playing the other Ugin. I don't think I have a way in this deck to get rid of the other Ugin. It's going to be too big and powerful when it comes out. Oh, speaking of big and powerful. Okay. So our downfall here is we needed to go faster, and now we've slowed down quite a bit. So let's think. We can give everything 1/1 and still tap everything. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can get up to 11 damage guaranteed. I think we need to go for it. I don't know if we can finish our opponent off this way, because we still have to somehow get through that last point of damage. But I think it's going to be worth trying. We have 2, so our opponent has to get rid of 2 unblockables, but they can do that with Drakusith. So I think that could be... I think that's it. I mean, if we draw... I mean, maybe if we draw another Tempest Caller, like we have to draw something really good like that. So much damage there. Well, I don't know. We haven't... Oh, I didn't even count how much damage there was coming at us. Oh well. We couldn't block it anyway. Well, did I have 1 flyer? I mean, it just wouldn't... I don't know. Negative 12 was a lot. I mean, that's all we could do. We mostly did what we wanted to do. Maybe if we would have tried to hold back a little bit less in the beginning, counting on that board wipe, but... I don't know. I think it was a very probable thing to expect, and then just not having enough to recover from it if it would have come. And we got him down to 1. I mean, we just 1. That's almost a win. What's the old saying? Almost or close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Emperor Elric. I like it. Okay, these are both going to come in tapped. We have a 2 and 2 3s. This is an awkward hand. It's definitely not aggressive, which is what we want. I think we have to mulligan. Okay, this isn't a lot better, but it's better. Okay. Yeah, this is better. Alright, looks like we're up against mono white. I think that's a good matchup. I think. We really need those unblockable merfolk. Like, those are the strongest ones. At least to our aggressive strategy, which is our main strategy, I feel like. So. Okay, so when we bring the Mistbinder in, it'll not only give him the +1, but we can put a counter on him, make the Deep Root Elite bigger. Oh wow, it's going to have to be really big to get past that. Wow, that's a fast white. Wow, fast mono white. Maybe this is not a good matchup. I think it would have been better, again, had we had the aggressive unblockables. Okay, there's one. But is it too little too late? I don't know, it might be. Now I'm debating on whether I should have put all the counters on the Herald. Maybe not. Okay. They're going to be... We're going to start seeing Speaker of Heavens maybe this turn? Possibly this... Yeah. Well, all they got to do is swing with their lifelink creature, get to 27, and we're going to see Angels this turn. Yeah, we can't. Oh, they don't have to swing with it because sacrificing it gains a life here. Wow. Yeah, that's ball game. We can't come back from those Angels. No, we can't do that. I thought this was going to be a better matchup. I really thought it would be a better matchup. Now it's out of hand. Alright, well. Oh my goodness, how crazy is Platinum right now? Right back down to the bottom. Right back down to the bottom. I never have this much trouble. Even when I'm... Okay. I think we're going to have to get serious here. Okay, we either have to get serious or we got to go play some draft or do something different and let this kind of clear out on its own. This is nuts. Okay, so now I think here's what's got to happen. We got to consider the decks that have been successful versus the janky, not fun but not really competitive at this level decks, and really consider what it's going to take to get through this mess. All right, let's go back to High Alert, which was really successful last season, and give it a whirl. And I think we're going to have to really start tiering our decks to see if we're going to actually try to progress, what it's going to take. Because this is nuts. I've been stuck right here in this exact spot for 6 days now. This is not great. I'm going to keep it anyway because I can scry. And I can get a blocker out early. I think I might actually get the blocker out first because I can pay the 2 life for this. I'm not crazy about paying 2 life for it. But I can also scry with my blocker, so that's good. Ooh, I want that card, but this is not a good hand to keep it. Alright. So hopefully by scrying here we can find something useful. Okay. So actually this is good because we can scry with the land. Nice. And go here. And if we go white, with the pathway, we can go ahead and get good. This might be good. Okay. Now we're in business. Maybe this is the deck we just need to play through for a while and get some momentum going before we go messing around with all those lousy decks that didn't get us anywhere. Neoform. I know it's a popular card right now, but what are we going for? That's just not usually when we see it, so that was kind of odd. I think I'm gonna get rid of that and swing in for what we got. So what I like about this deck is it can function different ways. It can function aggro, but also can function somewhat control. And then it can kind of even wait and just take big hits late in the game by just kind of sitting here using our defenders to block and then using Tetsuko late in the game to go in unblockable. So it's a really, I'm finding that, and this is probably why we got so far with it in the last season, is it's so versatile, which is a big deal in historic best of one right now. Especially being at this kind of rank where you just never know what you're going to see. Now, I'm certain as we get in the higher ranks, it'll kind of narrow down to a very defined meta. And I feel like I was saying earlier, that the biggest thing about the meta right now is that it's mostly... And see, I would call this a combo in my definition. And I know that may be outside of what some would call neoform, but in my mind, it's a combo because you're trying to do some kind of immediate trick, if you will. Whereas, and see, and those are out there, but I don't think they're a big part of the meta still. I think, and well, especially the higher you get, they're a little more significant at this point. But I think. And again, it's a historic best of one meta that we're talking about, not necessarily a historic best of three, certainly not standard by any stretch. But it's either aggro or control, really. And control is beating out, I think, the aggro right now. I think the different forms of control are kind of dominating the meta in a way. So the only thing we don't have is green here, but I think we're going to keep this anyway. We can scry. We've got some control early, which is not bad. Tetsuko. I think this is good. Drear Lattice 654. Not sure what to think about that. Here we go. Okay, so I didn't keep this last time, but I'm actually going to this time because I'm only one land away from having what I need for it. The downside to it is it requires two things. Well, not necessarily true. It requires at least one card to deal the damage equal to its toughness. But then if you have Tetsuko, that second piece to get it in unblockable is just crazy good. Alright, let's get rid of the Pride Mate. We don't want that. And even though Tetsuko is unblockable, we'll save it and use her as a blocker, not ping at the moment. Okay. Interesting. This feels like such a basic mono white. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it definitely feels very, very basic. Okay, there's some more land that we needed. So we can go, I think we're just going to go with our big boy. We still need a way for it to deal damage. Oh, we can't have that. Okay, well, because of that, we're not going to cast Jericho just yet. We've got to get rid of the Speaker of Heavens. I cannot deal with a bunch of flyers, 4/4 flyers running around. That is not a thing we can deal with. And I'm going to go ahead and attack because I don't want our opponent getting enough life. I mean, they do, but let's slow it down as much as we can. Wow, which may not be maybe easier said than done, even just slowing it down. Okay, I'm still missing so many of the pieces that I need. I really need High Alert or Arcades. I need that other piece. Wow, I don't need that. Alright, well, we can draw a card, hopefully drawing something we need. Oh my goodness. I can't keep taking... So, I mean, I can deal with an attack, maybe two, before it gets crazy with these angels. Because the upside is if I can get to my other piece, then I got lethal damage on the board and Tetsuko. So it's just a matter of timing now. Like we can sustain what, 2 or 3 turns maybe with that on the board. I just need our other piece.
Now is the time to strike.
Ah, here they come. Here come the angels. What are we gonna do? Oh, still don't have what we need. Okay. So we have to wait at least another turn. So we're going to take at least 4 damage next turn. Well, and then Basri can put counters on the flyer. Oh, we're so close and yet so far away. That, okay, not a bad deal. So with that out of the picture, we're going to need an extra turn with everything else we have. A problem is if we swing with everything else we have and then not having vigilance, we also leave ourselves open, which is a bummer. Okay, I guess we're gonna block. Alright, we block. And now what? Do we get what we... Oh. I mean, we're sticking around, trying to find it. This is nuts, though. And I've got no more ways to draw cards. We had some card draw. Now I'm out of card draw. Probably going to take 8 damage here. Maybe even more if they put counters on it. Oh, so now we're going to have essentially a Pride Mate. And see, again, I think we're getting to the point where even if we get what we need and we swing, there's not enough damage, and so we're going to end up without vigilance. We'd be too vulnerable. The only thing is if we were to draw something like a Deputy of Detention to start pulling things off the field, but then even that, I mean, that would get flyers off the field. Gosh. Well, that's it. We lost to just really not being able to pull what we needed. Our high alert deck didn't have any offense at all. And that's rare. Oh my gosh, look, we're down to the bottom again. I'm going to cry. So, I don't think I've ever seen that deck go that long without having any offense. That was bad. I think that's when, like, you really feel down on your luck, when the deck that's supposed to turn the corner doesn't turn the corner, but also doesn't turn the corner because it just didn't do what it does. And so it wasn't beat. Like, it wasn't misplays this time. Oh, Vitali's back. It wasn't misplays. It wasn't even our opponent had a better deck. That was such a simple mono white deck. Those are running around everywhere. And that's fine. Like, no hate. No hate. But it wasn't the cause of our loss. It was simply that we never turned the corner for offense. Okay, let's see. Vitali was the one with the basic ramp. Yeah. We never really got to see what his deck was going to do. Because it was like it ramped, and then before it could finish ramping, we got in. I don't remember. Was it Merfolk? I don't remember what we were playing. Yeah, it must have been Merfolk that we were playing. Okay, that's interesting. So Tulane is helpful, but still not a turn the corner kind of card here. So are we going to stall out again? Surely not. Surely not. Like I said, I've never seen it go that long without finding the pieces. Okay. Nyx Lotus makes sense if you're really focusing on devotion, which is what our opponent's deck is doing. Which I have to say I kind of like. I do like the premise. My mono black focuses on devotion. Maybe that would get us out of the hole. I think that's what I'm going to do, is seeing which decks I think are going to be successful right now, and maybe shift those into my favorite spots. If I go to my collection, put those in the favorites. Because some of the ones that are listed in my favorites are good, like the Flyers, and then others were just there more for fun, like the Elementals. Elementals has never been super successful. Oh, Gigantosaurus, somebody else is playing it. I've always been shocked at how many people don't play that card. Alright, but we need to get rid of it. Sorry, buddy. We do not need a Gigantosaurus running around. It's just not a thing we need. It's just not. Okay, let's get rid of this. Not get rid of it, but get it going here. And I feel like green is what we need. Let's draw a card. 2 cards, one from Tulane. Oh my goodness, we're really facing what we faced last game. And I would be more concerned about it again had it been a trend before. But I feel like this is the first time I've really seen the trend. So now I'm not worried about it, I'm just confused. Like, why is it happening all of a sudden? When we're stuck in platinum? I'm confused and very bummed, but not necessarily worried yet. Because again, the trend, we didn't really see this trend last season. There it is. The question is, so okay, we can't really put things away without, although we can come really close here, without Tetsuko, but actually getting rid of the 4/4 will go a long way. Because now, even without Tetsuko making things unblockable, we're not worried about blocks once that's gone. Like, go ahead, block if you want. Oh, I forgot that can do that. I only have one copy of Tulane, so I forget what it does. Okay, so our opponent is doing a lot of life gain. Not a bad idea. Oh, we can go with Arcades. Let's do that. And tap that. And tap that. Also triggering Tulane. Nice. I think this might be where our opponent considers a scoop. Unless there's a really big creature in hand, because they've got plenty of mana. The problem is I can deal with a big creature. Okay. Yeah, so last game we couldn't find any of these cards, and now I've got 3 at this stage. So this is more typical, where even if it takes a little while, we still find something. Okay. We could, let me think. We could get card draw, but now I'm thinking the best. Is it worth even drawing cards, or should we just swing? think I'm actually. I mean, so if we draw cards, we could try to find maybe a Tutsuko. But all right, let's try it. I'm almost thinking, am I? If I swing with everything, there's only so many blocks available. Is kind of what I'm thinking, but if I can find Tetsuko, that does end the game for sure. Okay, we don't need another land here. And we got one anyway. Alright. I do have one more small creature, so let's go there. Okay. And we're going to draw 2 more cards, so that's really... Oh, and there it is. Okay. So that worked out. Now, everything is unblockable. Yep, we'll put the land down. Chulane did so much work and could have done more. Like, it actually wouldn't have been such a bad idea to trigger or activate that ability at some point. But now, it's completely pointless to do anything other than attack, because everything's unblockable. Well, not everything. Chulane and Arcades are not, but all of these are. Okay, so just select no blocks and let it go through. There's nothing you can do here. I mean, you could choose to block some things, but really nothing you can do. Oh, goodness. Oh, roping? Really? Really? Oh, I just realized my music is gone. What happened? What's going on? I want my music. While our opponent's still roping back there. That's nuts. Is it just gone? Wow. I guess the old computer just decided it can't run it. What if we switch it up? Not that I want to hear any dance music. Still won't play it, will it? Oh, I did play it. So switch it up again. Go back to what I want to hear. Oh, it's playing again. Hey, and our opponent finally got done roping. Okay. Oh, this is crazy. Been so stuck on platinum. So crazy. So I wonder if I can take a deck out of favorites when I add. So I want to add high alert. I want to start, arranging those a little bit better. Let's see if we can do that. Because you only get like, what, 4? You don't get a lot. Alright, where is high alert? Am I looking right at it? There it is. So let's go favorite. Okay, and then, oh, I can unfavorite. Good. So let's slowly try to favorite the ones that are actually successful. Actually, this one I think is, but sometimes it depends on the meta. This one was. Can I even just... No, I can't just move them around because it drags the whole screen. So that's kind of a bummer. Yeah, I wish I could just align them the way I want without... I guess favorites is the only way you can really align it. Is there anything else that was particularly successful that we just didn't sit on very long? I think maybe Knights was decently successful. I actually think this was too. It was very much, just a kind of a green devotion, really, like our opponent was playing. See, the problem is I think there's a limit to your favorites, so I'm going to select all these, and then I'll bet if I get out and come back in, they won't be there. I wonder if it cuts off the last ones or how it cuts them off. I don't know. Okay, I think that's maybe a better deck than we're giving it credit for. What else has been successful, maybe? I know, again, it's hard to say because it changes so often. Okay, so we'll go with those. Those are probably our more successful ones right now. And I kind of wish, and I don't know how these, I'm assuming it's maybe by how often we play them or last played. I don't know how these get ordered. I wished it was by win rate and then I would just know. But I don't think that's how that works. I don't know. It'd be nice if it was. So I'm pretty sure you're limited to your favorites. So I'm pretty sure if we go out and come back, it'll change. And then we have to decide which ones we really want to keep as favorites. No, it didn't change. So we'll see if I close out the game and come back tomorrow if it's changed. If it's actually going to keep all the favorites that I select, which I know it's not done that in the past, that will be good because then we can kind of go in and out and put our strong stuff near the top. Which, so far, High Alert is the strongest one, for sure. If I were going to order these, it would probably be High Alert, maybe the Is It Flyers, or the White Blue. I can't think of the name. White Blue Flyers. Either of those. And then possibly even Merfolk, although they struggled lately. And the Clerics are surprisingly good too. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining in this morning, or whatever time it is, wherever you're at. And I'm going to get out of here for the day. I'll be back tomorrow morning, hopefully closer to being on time. But hey, gosh, things just keep happening. So life is life. But you joined me, and I appreciate it. And you can support. Go to Twitch and like and subscribe. Do all those things that you need to do. Follow, please. That is the best way you can support me right now. And eventually, I will have some other avenues as we get this stream growing. Right now, we're really small, and that's okay. Shout out. Send me a message. That'd be great. I'd love to hear from you. Love for you to share our stream with others. So have a good day or rest.